On WICR. You can be listening to us live on Ustream.com and Live365.com by searching WICR. Very simple. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Go to YouTube. Watch previously recorded shows, including this one and the morning show. Don't forget to miss the last week, one of the last Friday shows tomorrow, but the last week of shows next week for the morning show, and last week of shows for everyone else. Show them support. That last song you just heard was Fit for a King's song, not The Bitter, it's Bitter End, off their Creation Destruction album. And then before that, from the Ronnie James Dio tribute album, we had Rainbow in the Dark, which is by Corey Taylor, accompanied with a bunch of musicians. Definitely did a great job. Of course, everyone knows the original Dio version of Rainbow in the Dark.
One of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest heavy metal solos ever written.
Yeah, I agree.
One of my favorite solos of all time.
I agree, and I think they transposed it nicely in this song.
Very, very good example of what metal should be.
Yeah,
that
100%.
That album, you got songs like Rainbow in the Dark, Holy Diver. I think Stargaze is off that album, but I'm not sure. But you look at the tracks and it's just metal. Ronnie James Dio got metal.
100%.
And that's why when Ozzy Osbourne was kicked out of Black Sabbath, they went to Ronnie immediately to say, we want you as our front man, because even though it wasn't the same Black Sabbath, it was when it became Heaven and Hell.
It was still awesome.
Yeah, because Ronnie James Dio, in his diminutive figure, has one of the most powerful voices in all of music.
You would never think, if you've never seen Ronnie James Dio before, you would never think that voice comes out of that guy.
It was like a little Italian man with long hair, long straggly hair.
That's it. You're right. And then after that, we were talking about Fit for a King. I discovered them, like I said, on Instagram or one of the social media sites, and I finally saw them perform live. I actually listened to their music the first time the day I went to see the For Today concert. I believe March 13th is the date. I could be wrong, but probably. I went to go see For Today for the Fight Silence tour, and they were one of the first bands that went up. I believe the first band. I was there with Paul. We got there earlier than our friends Ricardo and Ariel, and we were sitting there. And Paul does not like this kind of music. Paul likes the instrumentals part of it. He's a big Disturbed fan. Aren't we all? But he's a big Disturbed fan, likes Avenged Sevenfold, doesn't like it when it comes to the screaming vocals. And you know what? That's a lot of the rock community agree with what Paul's standpoint is. And he likes For Today. And he was liking Fit for a King, and I was as well. So I definitely checked out the album. That was, I think, their newest album, released in January, I believe. Don't quote me because I'm probably wrong. But it was in 2013? Yeah, 2013. Well, I don't think it was this year. They released their album Creation and Destruction. Has like a slash, Creation/Destruction.
It's a good title. I like that.
Yeah, and they open up the album with the song Creation, and they close the album with the song Destruction. So I think that's pretty cool.
That works.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you like that music, definitely see our other shows, because we play music just like that all the time. Oh, yeah. So check us out next week, or check us out on YouTube or anything we can find Ustream videos. Go to ustream.com or ustream.tv.
Go to our YouTube page and look at previously recorded shows, because next week's the Swan Song. That's it.
Yeah.
Next week, and it's all gravy.
I like gravy.
Especially on mashed potatoes.
Anyway, we're going to go to the weather report here, because we like to go on tangents here. I mean, no one goes on a tangent.
I prefer secants myself, but go on.
Math major.
Math jokes.
So let's go on to the weather. Today was a bit of rain. A bit of rain with thunderstorm.
A bit of rain, a whole heck of a lot of fog.
72 degrees dropping was the high. It's going to drop down to 49 degrees tonight. Tomorrow is going to be breezy with periods of sun, with a high of 68, low of 46. Saturday, an afternoon shower in spots. That's what it says here. High 67, low of 48. And then on Sunday, a passing shower or two, high 66, low of 43. So your weekend is looking in the high 60s. What I find hysterical, and
snow.
yeah, but what I find hysterical, and this is not bashing on AccuWeather.com. I'm getting my source from AccuWeather.com, which is in partnership with ABC7. They have the precipitation percentages, and they're accurate. They're very I don't want to say the chance of participation, the chance of precipitation.
There you go.
They do it as accurate as they can. Usually you see like 70%, 65%. On Friday we have a 25% chance, so that's good. But then on Saturday we go to a 43%, 43.
Oh,
And then 64% on Sunday. I love the accuracy. I didn't. Can you bump it up to a 65? I don't understand why you gotta go to 64.
well, when they crunch the numbers, they are AccuWeather, not approximate weather, Pete.
Well, now, one of the things they said abundant sunshine.
It's not almost weather; it's AccuWeather.
Okay.
I
mean, you really
their numbers have to be accurate. They can't round a percentage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No problem. Let's go on to the NHL because that's the
Matchup.
only sport I know.
Wait, before we go on,
Okay.
quick math joke.
Here we go with the math joke. Here we go.
What does a statistician say?
4. Well, he's playing golf, right? 4.
No.
I got it.
What does a statistician say when he sticks his head in an oven and his feet in a bucket of ice?
That is a weird combo. I don't know.
Quote, on average, I feel fine.
Okay.
Moving on.
On to the NHL. This is horrible. I am so sorry, folks.
Why?
It was cute. I'll give you that. It was cute.
Eh.
Yesterday, we had a bunch of Game 7s. The Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Rangers in Game 7. The Rangers coming out on top, 2-1. Go on to the second round against Pittsburgh. They will play their game on Friday at 7 o'clock.
Yes. Yes.
Another Game 7 that happened yesterday in overtime. The Minnesota Wild, I don't want to say crushing, but beating the Avalanche. Now, who saw that coming? There's people, I checked the brackets on NHL, had the Minnesota Wild winning, but I did not see that coming.
I'm a little surprised myself.
We're all a little surprised. 5-4 was the score there.
Well, pretty high scoring, too.
I'm sorry?
Pretty high scoring, too, I said.
It was pretty scoring. The Wild would take on the Blackhawks on Friday, May 2nd, 9:30 p.m. So definitely check that out. Both of those games on Fridays on NBC Sports Network. So I believe if you have Optimum, that's 719, channel 719. And then the last Game 7 that happened last night was the Kings versus the Sharks. Kings beat the Sharks 5-1 at San Jose. After I say a controversial goal in the Game 6, one of the Kings players shot a shot, and the puck went under. I believe his name's Stalock. Went under the goalie's pad. The puck was under the pad for a good 3 seconds. The referee was about to blow the whistle, and then said, "I'm gonna let it slide." Didn't blow the whistle, and then the Kings started poking at the guy's pad, pushing the goalie into the goal with the puck, and they called it a goal.
Nice.
A goal. Now, it was tied 1-1 at that point. It changed the momentum drastically because the Kings now had a 2-1 lead, and that really started getting things going. I believe the Kings had scored first in that game, and then the Sharks came back 1-1, tied it up. This is Game 6. I'm not talking about Game 7. And then that whole thing changed. I think if that goal wasn't counted, the Sharks had a good chance of winning Game 6 and going on to the next round because they were up 3-0. But now the Kings going down the history.
Wait. You said the Sharks were up 3...
3-0.
But the Kings won the series.
But that's what I'm saying. Listen. This is the Kings go down the history books in the NHL with a select few because they are one of the select few who won a series from being down 3 games. They won 4 straight.
Right.
4 straight games, and they went on to the next round.
So if San Jose had won the game last night, they would have won the series.
Right.
You said they would have gone on to Game 7.
I'm talking about Game 6. If that we would have had, if they didn't count that goal, we wouldn't have had a Game 7. They would have went on the series.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I was a little confused.
I apologize if there's
in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Callie.
Hi, Callie.
She's saying hi back. Now you can hear her, but yes.
Then on May 3rd, we talk about the Kings. The Kings will take on the Ducks at 8 o'clock. That's a Game 1 on NBC Sports Network. But right now, in the second period, Montreal leading the Bruins 1-0. and they are playing in their first game of the second round. So it's definitely going to be nice to see what happens here. Weird things happening in the studio today.
Strange things are happening to me.
So yeah, the NHL second round is pretty much underway. So I would like to say the Rangers are going to beat the Penguins. Marc-Andre Fleury not looking like he usually does. He's choking in the postseason, I would say. So yeah, what are your predictions? Who are you thinking? Let me give you the matchups really quick,
Okay.
and then you give me a
my analysis.
you give me analysis. Not even analysis, just a picks. Second round, Boston versus the Montreal Canadiens, Boston Bruins. Who do you think takes that, and how many games?
I say Boston will take it in 5 games. I think Montreal will split somewhere in the middle there.
Right. All right. Penguins and Rangers.
I'm gonna say Rangers in 6.
Rangers in 6. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. We have the Blackhawks and the Wild.
Blackhawks in 5.
I'm gonna say Blackhawks in 4.
I don't know about a sweep.
I could see a sweep. Ducks and
Well,
Kings.
don't forget to just to back up. Blackhawks. They had the series with the Blues, and the Blues gave them some trouble.
Yeah, for 2 games.
But still, it drove them to 3 overtimes.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine.
Game.
It's completely fine. Ducks and Kings.
I'm gonna say the Ducks in 6.
I like that. All right. So that's our NHL update. Shall we go on to more music?
We shall.
We shall.
We shall.
Okay. Well, in the studio today, we played Fit for a King. I said I saw them when I went to go see For Today. Let's play some For Today.
Let's play some For Today.
I'm going to play a song off their newest album, Fight the Silence. I believe I played this song before on this show. This song is called Fatherless. Now, it's about a boy who grows up without having his father around. He loses his father, unfortunately. And the song is, in fact, very sad if you really look at the lyrics in depth. So we're gonna play that, and then afterwards we're gonna play "Quarterized" by As I Lay Dying off their, I should say, newest album, since they haven't made an album since that whole scandal and everything that happened with the lead singer.
Right.
Awakened. It's off that album, Awakened, and that's gonna be "Quarterized." So let's start it off with some For Today. This is Fatherless. Now you say something before we go. What are you doing?
You are now listening to Full Metal Attack on WICR.
To remember what he meant, but there was no time for sentiment as he took his final breath.